Hey everyone, so this is really cool. There's these phrases or these thoughts that we learn from books that we've read, like Napoleon Hill, what the mind can conceive and believe the mind can achieve, and what you think about comes about as a man thinketh. James Allen, I think, said. Anyways, and even there's this story, this little parable, I think it's pretty popular, you've probably heard it, of this little boy that goes to his grandpa and he's talking about the two wolves, and one's a good wolf, one's a bad wolf or something, and then the boy asks, which wolf is going to win? And the grandpa says something to the effect of the one that you feed. I'm totally demolishing that story, but and if you don't know, just look it up on the internet. It's just a little parable about our minds and what we think about, and that's what all these things have in common, is bringing out our reality based on our thoughts, which is kind of this foo-foo nebulous idea that's out there that some people will discredit as that's the secret, and there's intention, and there's manifestation and all these things. But I was reading up a little bit on the physiology behind what makes this happen and what makes this something worth talking about. And that is these little two places in your brain. One is called the amygdala, and it competes with another area of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. All right, I am not a neurophysiologist by any stretch of the imagination, but I do love learning about this stuff. So let me teach you what I have learned so far about the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. The amygdala first, that function is to stop or resist you when you encounter risk or uncertainty. So if you come across a fire, or you're on top of a building getting too close to the edge, or something that's risky, dangerous, your amygdala will kick in and say, I don't think so, and it usually screams, and it does everything within its power to prevent you from taking action, from moving forward. Here's the problem. The amygdala doesn't know the difference between a business risk or a calculated risk, or a risk, and literally a physical risk where your life is in danger. Like don't walk down that dark alley by yourself because it's probably not safe. Okay, that is common sense. That's a good thing to listen to your amygdala for. But when it comes to other areas of our lives, we listen too much to that, and it keeps us from moving forward because the amygdala doesn't stop. It is no respecter of situations. If there is risk and there is uncertainty, the amygdala will kick in. It will send impulses, and you will feel a hesitancy to move forward in that thing. Okay, now here's the good news. The good news is you've also got a prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex job is kind of the opposite of the amygdala. The prefrontal cortex celebrates and welcomes and embraces ideas and vision and new exciting things. And so when it's a world of positivity, or when you're sitting out overlooking this beautiful view, a vista, you're taking in all this wonderful positive emotion, that's the prefrontal cortex. And your prefrontal cortex will send impulses and make you feel great and want to move forward in that thing. So here's where it all comes down. Okay, pay attention to this part. You have a dream, a goal, a vision, a purpose. Hopefully you've written it down and you've articulated it well, and you're chasing it, and you know what it is, and you're going after it, and you have a plan, a life action plan to get you there. Some of those things that you're going to have to do will be uncomfortable and risky. Some of them will be full of uncertainty. You won't know what to do. But your amygdala will try and prevent you from doing it, from moving forward. And that is normal. You've got to realize that is the same reaction as when you want to jump off a cliff or do something stupid. But you have to separate yourself from the risk of, for example, let's say public speaking. Well, there's no life risk, but there is uncertainty and risk there because you're putting yourself out there, so it's in a different way. But you yourself have to separate and go, well, this is the kind of risk that I want. But there are other risks that you don't want, obviously. So the amygdala says no, while the prefrontal cortex says yes. And that's why when you envision your life in the future, okay, you're putting yourself out as if looking over this beautiful vista, and you are opening up your prefrontal cortex. And what that does is it shuts down your amygdala. When your amygdala should be doing its job of stopping you from moving forward, if you are connecting with your vision and you feel the excitement and power of where you want to be in your life, and you can envision that and you can get excited about it, then your prefrontal cortex wins at the end of the day. And that excitement drives you forward even though there is risk and uncertainty. Does that make sense? So I guess what this does is it supports the whole idea of you got a vision, sit down and spend time in the mornings with some mindful meditation and envisioning your future. What does life look like when you get there? What are you chasing after? Where are you going? And how does it feel when you've arrived? Not that that's the end point, but that is a resting point for something even greater. But if that's your goal right now, to achieve something, connect with what that feels like and looks like, and make it a practice, a daily habit to envision yourself there, because you're going to be training your brain to engage the prefrontal cortex and not the amygdala. And that will make a huge difference. And that's how the physiology works behind the whole thing of what you think about comes about, and the two wolves and all that stuff. So anyways, very cool stuff. I just thought I'd share. Let me know what you think. Make comments below, ask questions, and I'll do my best to answer. Talk to you next time.